Miss Nikki in the house.
So we know what we're good at, but we know what we're not good at. We spend all of our time.
My family know I've been married for 10 years. I have.
I had changed my life so much in such a short
time. So I've been doing that for 18 to 19 years.
I'm one of those people who I think, I grew up
serving the majority, as far as I can remember, as a kid.
Hey everyone! Yes, I am Chandra, and
allow themselves to be free. Sometimes I do coaching and other things like that, but
dance was my life. Dance is what I knew. Dance is what I breathed.
I lost a lot of time with my daughter in that first year.
It was an amazing job for actors.
Hey, welcome to Commit to Change, otherwise known as C2C Podcast. This is Miss Nikki, the Jane of all trades, but the master of living. I am dedicated to introducing local VIPs, which are vivaciously inspiring people to encourage you on your daily journey, as well as let you know what is possibly happening around you in your area. Today's guest, first and foremost, her name is on it. Like, I wish I had like a fancy, slick name that is up with the times right now. She is a counselor, a life coach, a motivational speaker. Her name is Jennifer Slay. It was a delight to talk with her and meet her, of course, for the first time, actually, via the podcast, which is really nice when people are recommended to the podcast and come on board, because I love to meet people from all walks of life. She sees clients one-on-one and supports them to make significant steps towards positive change in their lives. Her clientele is primarily women who may be diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or feeling stuck in their lives. They're not sure what the next step is, but they know how to make a change to feel fulfilled in their lives. Now, that is just a little synopsis of what she does, but I was reading through her bio and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm just going to read it to you because she's truly she really took advantage of that whole idea of committing her life to change those around her, and has really dedicated her time to her community. And I just want to highlight those things through her journey of life and what she's accomplished and what she's done to date. So first and foremost, Jennifer, she has been registered as a social worker in the City of London for the last 20 years. In addition, she is a dynamic motivational speaker, as I said earlier, a certified life coach, a counselor, an author, and a trainer. And she's earned her honors. She's earned an honors bachelor degree in anthropology, social work, and she has a master's degree in social work. Whew. She has been chosen as one of the recipients of the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal in 2013 for her community work, and was chosen as one of Canada's Women of Confidence in the national publication Chantilly Magazine. I hope I said that right. Now, she grew up in a small mining town in northern Manitoba, but she always knew that she wanted to help people. So in 2003, she graduated from high school, moved to London, Ontario, to pursue her post-secondary education. So I know when I said the City of London, you're probably thinking London in Europe, but it's actually in Canada. So London, Ontario. She has since made London her home, and most of her career has been in child protective services in both the frontline and management sectors. She spent 3 years on a provincial project to help keep Ontario's children safer, and we need that, especially these days. So as I said, she is a very avid community, active member helping her community. She's served on several committees. I cannot speak today. Several committees and boards. She's a classically trained pianist, and she taught piano for her community, but she offered it like at a lower rate so that others could share, so she could share the gift with others the music. So that was very like what we call in the military selfless service. So thank you for that, Miss Slay. In 2012, she co-founded a company called Pink Inc., which was an image and lifestyle consultant agency that focused on helping women make their inner vision of self a reality. We do talk about that in the interview, so definitely listen in. She's taken a lot of her gifts and she's given it out, and that's the way that I feel too. Like whatever gifts that I have, or whatever opportunities I've had a chance to learn and love, I want to share that with the world. So she's done the same thing, and this is why like I totally admire her, because sometimes you feel like you're the only one, but when it comes to like just taking from wearing different hats and taking from different parts, and a lot of times, because I've always been taught like everything should be honed in, you should do this, and I'm like, no, but I gotta have my hand in different pots, and that's just what makes sense to me. So Jennifer has a love for writing. She's a published author. Her book is called Finesse Your Life. It's a book and a journal, and she's written for various online magazines, one being All of Us. She loves teaching and mentoring, and it led her to be a part of the faculty at Fanshawe College. I hope I said that right. In 2017, she was asked to sit on the board of mission services to help make a difference in the lives of others in any way that she can. So she is constantly going. I mean, like I said, I was just fascinated by her bio and everything she's done. She recently became a certified trainer for extended DISC, which is a behavior assessment tool that helps people to better understand their behavior and communication styles in an effort to enhance their relationships with themselves and others. When it comes to her being a speaker, she has won several speech contests through Toastmasters for both evaluation and presentation. And for the last 2 years, she has come in first place in her club. In 2008, she was first in her area and came in third in her district. And she's also the VP of Public Relations for her Toastmasters Club in 2008. In 2009, she was asked to sit on the board of the Forest City London Kiwanis Club, where she has taken the lead for growing the membership. When you talk about someone really putting themselves out there, this is her. And I didn't even mention she is a single mother of 3, and so she is working it. She is also EMDR trained. She uses this counseling tool to support her clients who have experienced trauma in their lives. And her signature program, which is Slay Your Inner Bully, co-led by business coach and strategist Jennifer Jimbere. It was created to help empower the lives of others who are struggling with managing their inner critic. You got to check out this program. When you're looking to, we are our worst critics. We talk so poorly about ourselves and we bully ourselves every day. So I would recommend that if you are constantly bullying yourself, look into this program by Miss Slay. And overall, she just loves reading, dancing, singing, playing piano. She has a belief in the human spirit combined with her education experiences to create. She wants to create workshops, online programs, and so on and so forth. And as I said to you, it was a delight to speak with her. And as always, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to stop talking. So I want you to listen in as Miss Jennifer Slay shares with the C2C audience her way of committing to change her life and the lives of those around her. Enjoy. All right, welcome to Commit to Change, the podcast. Today, as you've already heard, we have the awesome Jen Slay in the house. Say hi, Jen.
Hey!
So let's
How's
go.
everyone doing?
Yep, there you go. How's everyone doing? Please go ahead and answer that. Say how you're doing. Answer it in our chat box underneath the podcast and tell them how you're doing, how you thought about this podcast. I know we're starting too early saying that, but it's all good. We can ask from the beginning. We can ask at the end. That's how it goes, right? So first and foremost, let's go ahead and kick it off. And Jen, please tell us a little bit about who you are.
Who I am? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. I'm a little girl from northern Manitoba. I'm joking. I'm not going to go that far back. No, I'm a mom of three. I'm a single mom of three boys. And I've always been told, my mom said, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And so my thing is, God must really have trust in me to have these three rambunctious boys. So I've got three boys, and like I said, I'm a single mom. Been a social worker for about 20 years. Did a lot of work in child welfare, and during the whole time, my main purpose was to help people meet their goals. So for me to have left that world of child welfare, government job, check every 2 weeks coming in to do my own thing in private practice and life coaching was a huge step for me. But I'm able to do what I love, which is to help people to move forward in their lives and just really love their life, to fall in love with their life. So that's
Wow.
me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. So what inspired you to commit your life to change?
I think some people are just born with it, and I think I was one of those people. I was just born with it. So I remember when I was little, I remember this vividly. I was probably about 6 years old, and my mom and my sister, we'd always watch TV together, and we'd cuddle and everything. And I remember watching those UNICEF commercials, and they were of the children they made it look like they were suffering. They had the big bellies, the flies, and I remember going to bed at night and just crying and saying, God, please help them, please help them, please help me to be able to help them one day. And so I think I've always just had it in my heart that I wanted to help people so that they could feel good about themselves and be happy and live a beautiful life. So.
Wow. And during your journey, what do you feel has been your biggest obstacle since you made this decision to commit your life to making people happy, and how did you overcome it?
Practicing what I preach. So, it's one thing to be able to give people strategies and tools to support them in their lives. And then when you go through your own difficulties, because let's be real, when things are good, anybody can be happy. Right? Things are good, but it's when things get tough that we start to get to that point where, oh shoot, well now why aren't I happy anymore? What's going on? Why? So there was a time, especially when I was going through my divorce, I went into a depression. And I remember one day driving down the street and just thinking, life is so hard. Like, life is just so hard right now. I'm so sad. How can I? And then that inner bully, that inner critic that we have started saying, how can you tell people how to live and you can't live your life? Why aren't you happy? You're telling other people to be happy. And just like going. And I remember thinking, if I just turn the wheel a little bit, I can end this. And I knew right then and there something was wrong, because I usually am quite contented, quite happy. And to think that I no longer wanted to be here, something was wrong. So, I had to make a decision at that point of how I wanted to live my life and what I wanted to do. And I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of supports in my area. I have access to a lot of supports and resources. And I remember praying and saying, once I get through this, I am going to help other people through this, because that hopeless feeling sucks. And so I really wanted to be able to help people. And so that's kind of my journey to where I am right now.
Well, I'm glad that you talked about your supporters, because that's actually the next question. Who do you feel, or who would you say has been your biggest supporter through all of this?
My younger sister.
Oh.
My younger sister, yeah. I'm the older sister. I'm supposed to be the one that's got it all together. Well, she is wise beyond her years. She's absolutely amazing. She has a strong foundation of faith. She's just been a pillar for me. So she's my best friend. Love her to death. And she really has always been there, no matter what. No judgment, nothing, just always been there.
Absolutely. That's really fantastic, because when you're doing things like this, it can be like an energy sucker. You know, it really can pull a lot from you. So to have the foundation of faith and then having someone else that is supporting you that also is faithful, it really helps that journey a lot smoother and really keeps you on track. So that is fantastic. What is your sister's name?
Her name is Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
She's amazing. She's wonderful. So yes, love her to death.
That's fantastic. So how do you feel that you are adding to your community?
By serving. I am of the belief that to whom much is given, much is required.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I have been blessed with a number of blessings, the ability to play music, to learn music. And so I give that back by teaching music. I have a great ability to listen. And I think that's why I got into social work. And so when people sit with me, they can just talk and talk and talk, and I'll be there to listen. And it's a gift, because when people are done speaking, they feel so much better. And I think that's just natural too. When you're able to just vent and get everything off your chest, you feel better. But I believe that I've been blessed with a gift to be able to get people talking, getting it out, and then moving that step further into action. Right? What are we going to do next? Yeah, this sucks. This happened, whatever it is. Now what? What are we going to do now? And not having a judgment for them and just moving forward has been really something that's innate in me, to be able to help other people move forward.
So I'm sorry?
Did I answer your question?
Yes. So, no, you did. So I was looking through your bio, and you have something about pink ink. Can you tell me a little bit about that, please?
For sure. So a few years back, I was a Mary Kay consultant. And I became a Mary Kay director. Yeah, I loved it. Girl, the products are good.
Yes.
The products are excellent, right? So a friend of mine, two friends of mine, we decided, hey, let's take this a little bit further. Like, we love the makeup and everything, but let's get into women's style, because what we found is when a woman really looks good, she feels amazing. And she walks out her door with a certain confidence. So we decided, well, let's start our own little business, styling consultancy, and it was called Pink Ink. And the purpose of it was just to provide women with the tools to teach them how to put on their makeup, to teach them how to dress for their body type, just so that they can feel amazing. Because we know that clothes and makeup don't make up who you are, but it really helps to put that boost of confidence in you, so that you can go out there and show the world who you are,
Yes.
So that's what Pink Ink was all about.
Yes. So I'm assuming, because you said you don't have it anymore.
We don't have it anymore. So after, I think we did it for about 5 years, and we loved it, but then we kind of branched off. So one of the ladies is really into business, and so she's more of a business consultant, human resources. And myself, I'm into that component with the mind. Like, I'm fascinated with the human brain. And so that's the path that I went down. But we're still great friends, do stuff together and everything, but just different paths.
Hey, sometimes things are for a season. So that in itself, like, I think that's great, and shows the selfless service out there to really when you value life enough that you are willing to help others so they can find the value in their life. And that is absolutely amazing. So now, again, this goes right into the next question. So what tips or advice would you give to someone who is sitting on the fence of their field of dreams?
Well, do a little bit of research. And kind of find out what's going on in that field that you want to venture into. But know that just because the field might be saturated with a number of, for example, life coaches, you have something that's unique to you that you can give. But you just have to figure out what that is. right? And so I would say figure out what your gift is and then do a little bit of research and then take a step. Just do something. You don't necessarily have to jump all in, right? Because for myself, it was scary. Like I was a single mom and I had a job, a good job. And after 20 years, I'm like, this is not for me anymore. I can't be doing this anymore. And to jump right in wasn't wise for me. Would have been wise. I had to take some steps. So I had my practice on the side and I still worked full time. And then as this grew, I was able to leave the other part behind. So just for me, my advice would be find out what your unique gift is, do a little bit of research, and then take a step.
Wow. Good advice. All right. So it's time for the lightning round.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 5 questions and then you answer it. What top of your head, what comes to mind, short, sweet. Here we go. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. So what initially held you back from making that commitment to change?
Fear.
Yes. Did you want to keep going? You can
Yeah.
elaborate.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was lightning round, so I thought I had to say that quick.
I say that. I let people talk. You know. Go ahead if you want to elaborate. Go ahead. Let our audience know why fear.
Fear. Okay. So I believe in this inner critic. We all have an inner critic, and my inner critic would always be telling me you're not good enough. Somebody else is smarter. All of those kinds of things, and I would compare myself to other people. And I had to come to a point where it's like, hey, listen, I'm good. Like you're smart enough, you're good enough, you got this. And so I had to let that fear of failure go, because failure isn't actually a bad thing. It teaches you something. We get our greatest lessons from failure. Absolutely. And we can even rename it something else, just not that way. Try a new way, right? To get what we want. So it was fear. That was the biggest thing.
Okay. Now, what is the best advice you have ever received?
Oh, the best advice is to just be myself. The best advice, because they said, I remember the gentleman that told me this, he said, when you're yourself, you don't have to worry about what people think because you're just you. And the people who care don't matter. And the people that matter care. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's true. I'm just going to be me. And it's so much easier to just be me.
Oh, yes.
So simple.
So share a personal habit that contributes to your success other than being you.
Personal habit. Well, every morning I meditate. Every morning I start my day in meditation and prayer because that's when I find I get my mind right. The days where I miss it, I'm like, okay, I need some time. I need to take a few minutes just to settle, just to know how this day is going to be, visualize what I want the day to be, how I want it to go, how I want to behave and react, all of those types of things. Because I think it sets the tone for your day. That I think someone said to me, those first 20 minutes when you wake up, set the tone for your day. So that's one of the habits that have really helped to ground me and to help me move forward.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. So what book would you recommend to the Commit to Change audience and why?
Oh, my favorite book. It's like my business Bible. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0, Travis Bradbury and Jean Greaves. And the reason for that is because in it, they talk about there was a time in the 70s, 60s, even 80s where IQ was thought you need to have an IQ to do well in life. But it's not actually your IQ that determines whether you're going to be successful. It's your emotional intelligence, which is your self-awareness, your social awareness, your ability to manage relationships, and your ability to manage your own behavior. If you can be successful in those things, then you can be successful in anything. And the book is a simple read. It probably takes a few hours to read, and it's life-changing. There's an assessment in there too that you can take, and it tells you what your current emotional intelligence is. And the wonderful thing is you can work on it to grow it. So I use it in all my programs that I do.
I feel like I have that book because it sounds familiar, but it was one of the books that I got that I didn't get a chance to read.
Hold on, I think I've got it right here because I always have it everywhere I go. Is this one?
No, but I'm going to get that now.
It is really, really good. And it's an easy read. It's simple. It really is. So it's a good one.
Okay. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. You guys hear that? Write it down and get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Okay. Last but not least, this is going to be your deep-seated question. If you found that you had 1 hour left to live and you were given the opportunity to share one final message, what would it be?
Life is short, but it's the longest thing you will ever do. So enjoy it.
She said that. Yeah, she is slaying.
That's right.
Now that that's the new saying, they were like, "Ooh, Jennifer Slay."
And you know what? The thing is, that's my actual name. People say, "Is that your name?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my name. It's my name." I'm like, I should have trademarked my freaking name. I could be rich right now.
Yes. Who knew? So before we move on to the to you telling everybody how they can find you, I did not ask you about your book. Please tell us about your book.
Oh, yes. Okay, so my book, it's called Finesse Your Life, Mind, Body, Spirit. And it just talks about 30 ways that you can enhance each of those areas. Because I'm of the belief that you cannot live your life fully unless you're taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. If you think of it like a car, right? You have a beautiful car. And let's say the body is crazy and it's not working on the inside. You can have a driver, which is like the mind, and you can have gas in it, but it ain't going anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Now, let's change it around. You have a beautiful car, beautiful body, working well, full of gas, right? But there is no driver. There's no mind. It can't go anywhere. It can't fulfill its purpose. One more. There's no gas in it, no electricity for those new cars that are out there, but the body is there and the driver is there, it's still not going to go anywhere. It can't fulfill its purpose. We cannot fulfill our purpose if we're not taking care of our minds, our body, and our spirit. And so what the book does is it provides people with different techniques that they can implement that right away, practical things that they can do right away to help them move forward. And the nice thing with it is at the end of each chapter, there's a little section that says, what are you going to do now? What change are you going to make now? So by the end of it, you have a plan to push you forward and move you forward.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get that. Where's my book? The one that I'm reading right now. I have a different one here. That's my Cures book. I think my daughter took it out of here, but I have another book that I'm reading that I have to that, and as soon as I finish that one, I'm definitely going to move on to the emotional intelligence because I like that idea, and it is something that I also promote with the mind body spirit connection, and it's absolutely important, especially even when people are talking about fitness, because a lot of things I talk about being fit mentally, physically, fiscally, and spiritually, and just the whole aspect of losing weight, there has to be a balance, because when there isn't, then you're going to have difficulty doing that. And it's not always just only about what you eat or, the exercise you do. If your mind's not right, you can hold on to weight with the stresses, and people don't understand that. And then of course it goes deeper into like your blood type and your history, your region, but that's a whole other thing. But anyway, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. And I want you to please tell our audience where we can find more about you and what you're doing and how we can contact you.
Oh, for sure. So the easiest way is email or my website. So my website is www.jenslay.com. And the email is info@jenslay.com. And yeah, go on there, check it out. Any questions, please contact me. I'm always open to speaking with people and meeting people and just hearing stories. I love hearing people's stories.
Yes. So thank you again for joining us on the Commit to Change podcast. And remember, all of her information will be in the notes section underneath the podcast and underneath the YouTube podcast, the visual podcast. And it has been a fantastic day and interview and an honor to have you with us, Jen. So thank you very much. And we bid adieu till next time.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.